Hello again. Welcome back. Lots of action to be had and lots more to come. My name is Standby.
And I'm George Carnage.
And we are here for Canada versus Europe. Under 2 minutes to Derby. Warm-ups are happening. By the way, if you're wondering how quickly this is happening, no, this is not pre-recorded. We have skaters behind us who are warming up on an open track. So we are able to turn around and play this many games in this little time. 30-minute periods. 4 penalties equals a foul out, 1 timeout per team, 1 official review per team, and teams with the most wins will get buys. We have 2 buys available into tomorrow's tournament, and we kind of go from there. Thank you for joining us on Twitch, wherever you are, especially those of you first-time fans. And if you're interested in roller derby, yes, just Google it or use your search engine of choice to find information about the roller derby league near you. Tool time on the house mic now, getting the crowd hyped as fans also file in and out. Parents also with their skaters, with their contingent, probably resting a bit while they can as the round robin continues.
You want the intros?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sure, go for it.
Okay.
Who we have?
I'm going to start in with Team Europe. Team Europe is the yellow team with the yellow jerseys. Number 01, TNT. Number 11, Nutter. Number 2012, Salty Siggy. Number 2708, the Naki Boy. Number 2711, Unit Galaxy. Number 31, Monowich. Number 42, Fabulous. 66, Little Demon. 665, Clara. 7, Killer Sushi. 72, Duracell. 808, Hasta La Vista. Number 888, No Limit. Number 9, Kiera. And the captain, number 04, Violent Vilda.
And for Team Canada scheduled to appear, number 16, Bloody L, 2 is QT, 3, Goldie, 38, Black Belt Beauty, 40, Depressor, 406, T-Bomb, 5151, Houdini, 52, Mad Child, 56, Mac Daddy, 65, Teja Vu, number 8, the Captain Kryptonite, 815, that is, Smacklemore, 901, Crashity Jade, 911, Wolfblade Jr., and 99 is Ruthless.
Now, we just saw Team Europe play Australia maybe half an hour or so ago, and it was a close game, but they ended up taking the lead.
Yeah, we've had some competitive games. We've had some that not so much, but the fun part about this is it keeps moving and everybody plays everybody, and kind of fantasy matchups also. Who do you think would win what? USA East versus USA West, the final game in the round robin. That will be later tonight here on the east coast of the U.S. as the final game set to start at 8:12 Eastern, 12:12 GMT. Now, the game after this Canada-Europe game will be USA West versus Australia, and that one scheduled to start at 5 Eastern, 9 GMT.
That last game at USA East and West is one that I would not want to miss. If I were you, I'd make sure that you're tuning in for that.
Definitely a fantasy-style game.
Yes. And at this point, you're probably memorizing these rosters just as much as we are because we're hearing these same names over and over again.
Kelly Murphy and Olivia Glisson among those in the Derby City Skates booth as vendors all around, as well as the teams. The fun part is all the teams brought merchandise as well. We all like to rock each other's shirts, and some collect them all.
We've seen a couple of those skate, and so I think Olivia might be on one of the Team USA teams. So a lot of the skaters that we've seen over the weekend at the Champs are still here for the World Cup, skating with their respective teams.
That's right, a full weekend, actually 5 days of Derby, especially for the U.S. teams. A little shuck and jive on the line there. Team Canada's ready, and you hear the cheer there for Team Europe. Europe will be in the yellow, Canada in the red with the maple leaf-inspired white trim. Playing 1 30-minute period. And again, the top 2 seeds will get a bye into tomorrow's tournament. Information on that at WFTDA.tv. If you go to the schedule, the viewer's guide, and then the page for the World Cup that is all below the embedded window there.
So we're getting ready to start our first jam of the game. Team Canada will be sending out number 56, Mac Daddy, to take on number 72, Duracell.
And Duracell, one of the more prolific jammers for Team Europe, saw earlier.
We have seen some really strong jamming, well, by both of those jammers, actually. You really can't single them out.
Yes, Mac Daddy, I did see in previous period. I was downstairs for that and put up a big fight earlier against USA West. The lead jam it is for Duracell.
Europe with our first lead in the game. Both of our jammers are out of the pack at this point on scoring passes. Duracell, the first jammer in, and actually decides to call that jam off before Mac Daddy can pass any blockers. So we're looking at a 0-0 jam for our first jam of the game.
Right, looking at the fists in the air from the referees, showing 0 points.
Team Europe is sending out 2012 Salty Siggy, and Canada sending out number 911 Wolfblade Jr.
Outside pack ref Zebroar with a multitude of fans on Twitch. It's been shout outs all day for Zebroar.
This might be my first time seeing Zebroar as anything other than jammer referee. Canada picking up lead in our second jam with number 911 Wolfblade Jr. getting the lead jammer signal.
Back and forth so far, perhaps a sign of a competitive game to be played. 5 points scored.
Going to be. That was a very easy scoring pass there by Wolfblade Jr.
And through in the initial is 888, who has the star now. That
Europe
is no limit.
Completing that star pass, and Wolfblade Jr. calls that jam. That's another 4 on the board for Canada.
Textbook track awareness there, and 9 points, the first 9 points of the game.
For Canada next, number 56, Mac Daddy, taking on number 01 from Europe. That's TNT. And we're starting the packet advantage now going to Canada. Europe has 1 defensive blocker seated in the penalty box.
And Jammer surveying the pack for a sec and looking for openings. Again, offense and defense happening at the same time. A little split pack there, and lead jam Canada, Mac Daddy.
A star pass has been given to Europe.
Actually, that was
Actually, no, I'm wrong.
Was that a stash?
I think
it took off the star. So
yeah.
Stashing. It was enough to fool us.
Right. It was an attempted star pass, if nothing else, to the pivot. Now the pivot has the star in possession.
You cannot completely hide the star. It has to be visible. And from a distance there, flesh on yellow. Anyway, we do have a power jam as a cut track was called on Mac Daddy.
So right now, number 2708, the Nacky Boy, in possession of that star. The pivot now jammer. The Nacky Boy is through the pack. He's up front.
And Canada losing another blocker to the box. That'll be a jammer and a blocker. Jammer standing, by the way. We'll take you that.
Nacky Boy completes the initial pass. Still unopposed right now on a power jam. So we will run the full 2 minutes.
35 seconds to go, as you see. The jam clock on the lower side.
Mac Daddy released from the box, back in the track.
Wow, good one-on-one blocking there by TNT.
Oh, a little retroactive block there as Mac Daddy gets hit and takes a little of a spill about 10 feet later. A 4-point scoring pass there by Mac Daddy puts 4 more on the board for Canada. The Nacky Boy still stuck on a scoring pass.
Hasta La Vista plays for Copenhagen, we're learning, as lots of representation. It is Team Europe. Europe, all of it.
Very large.
So I'm so happy to see all this international derby as we tend to, especially in the southern United States, just think about the teams all around us. But no, it is worldwide.
Some of us live in a pretty saturated area where it's really, and there's enough near us to keep us busy. Canada, number 911, Wolfblade will be jamming up against number 72, Duracell for Europe, and Duracell picking up a very quick lead.
Lead jam for Europe, and you know, as they say in Europe, give a jammer 2.5 centimeters and they'll take 1.6 kilometers. And both jammers through.
We're glad we can bring you Derby and comedy right here on our live stream. Duracell calling that jam off, 4 on the board for Europe.
Thank you, Rosie, for checking in on Twitch. And penalty box is clear, happy to say.
1-5, Smacklemore. This will be Smacklemore's first time taking the star up against number 888, No Limit. Now, we've seen No Limit do quite a bit of jamming in their game against Australia 2 or 3 games ago.
Right you are, and looking for a compressed start here, strict defense. And lead champ it is for Canada.
That's right, Smacklemore coming out with a very quick lead. Not far behind Smacklemore, here comes No Limit. 2 scoring passes right now in progress. Smacklemore calls it off, puts a 4 up for Canada. It looks like that was quick enough in the call off to not put any points up for Europe.
Stays upright, inbounds, and a spin on top of that.
Number 56 for Canada, Mac Daddy once again. Number 01 TNT for Europe.
4-point jam, but at this rate, 4 points may be all you need.
We're looking at 5-on-5 on the track. Our penalty box clear, so each team running at 100%.
Jammers free to engage each other anywhere on the track. But now split up, and we have an injured skater. Or at least a jam called
off
due to a down skater.
We've been very lucky so far. We've had a number of call-offs, but we haven't had anything that's actually required any medical attention.
Okay, so that jammer, or that skater rather, will sit out at least the next 3 jams. Of course, we'll need medical clearance first, but as a rule, a skater will sit out the next 3 jams if a jam is called on their behalf.
We've got quite a few Smacklemore fans coming up on our stream here.
International Derby, especially those of you worldwide representing there, and even though it is, well, in Europe we know it is evening. In Australia, I need to look that up, but thank you for joining us. We know it is not it's not prime time.
So speaking of Europe, their team, well, we'll get to that here. 56 Mac Daddy and 72 Duracell. Pretty common jammer matchup here. Those blockers going out of play, so Mac Daddy again picking up lead.
31 Monowich in the penalty box, joined by number 11 Nutter. So 2 blockers down, and 52 for Team Canada in the box. Madchild. We have lots of data, real-time data coming our way.
It looked like Duracell was signaling a call-off, but I don't think Duracell was lead. I didn't see a... Yeah. So Team Europe, it actually consists of skaters from Belgium, France, Denmark, and Sweden. So very big geographical area there, and they're all here on one track, which I think is amazing.
Number 4, the pivot, joined with a teammate, and they're looking to block here, and that's all they could do with just 2 skaters, as 911 Wolfblade Jr. earns lead.
Right. 888 No Limit will be jamming for Europe. The 2 blockers there, number 04, Violent Vilda, and number 42. Now, 42 has been a very strong blocker from what we're seeing. That is fabulous, and we've seen fabulous kind of running to the front, going to the back, just always a very, very proactive blocker, and that's the 42 there with the red helmet.
Canada down 1 blocker to start the next jam, and 9 points scored, 39-9. 21:45 to go in this 30-minute period.
Okay, for us Macklemore fans out there, Macklemore is up to jam once again, up against number 01 TNT from Europe. One Canada blocker down in the box, package advantage going to Europe.
We see 2708, the Naki boy, anchoring the defense in the front of the pack.
So Macklemore trying to take on that tripod right up the center.
But we do have a penalty on the jammer.
That was a cutting penalty on the Europe. Yes, a cutting penalty on the Europe jammer will give a power jam now to Macklemore.
On the inside and through for 5 points.
Macklemore now coming up to the back of the pack. Europe's jammer, number 01 TNT, is standing on the final 10 seconds. Macklemore now taking on the entire pack. Comes up front, one more blocker, gets past, almost gets past, there we go, gets past there at turn 2. Another 5 points up for Canada.
Europe jammer juking as reaching the blocker there, however, blocked, and Canada recycling up front. Canada definitely ready and blocking away. They were definitely ready on the jammer. I think I said that before, but that is that tight defense that may just be the key to winning this game.
Chris Macklemore coming out of the pack. Another 5 on the four on the board by our jammer referee.
And a star pass, yes, to 2708, the Naki boy. But the jam is called.
4 more up for Macklemore at the end of that jam. We're looking at about just shy of 20 minutes left to our game. Thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate the pictures we're getting on our live stream. 56 Mac Daddy and 72 Duracell up next to jam. 1-1 in the penalty box.
18 big points for Canada, which could spell, well, we'll see. We're only a third of the way through the period, but 18 points, a breakout jam. And breaking out for lead.
Mac Daddy.
That is. But it's a race.
It is jammer on jammer right now. We're only about 10 feet apart. Okay, Duracell slowly gaining speed, and now we are neck to neck on our jammers in a fast pack. Oh, look at that.
Some contact made and appealing to the referee for that, but
sometimes it's a sacrifice you got to make, right?
Yeah.
Mac Daddy coming out 4-0 there by Canada, brings them up to 61-9.
And Duracell with a clear frustration leaving the track on that jam. But 4 points scored.
Penalty box clear going into our next jam. Number 911 Wolfblade Jr. taking on number 2012 Salty Siggy. Salty hasn't jammed in a couple jams, and Salty was in the jam rotation pretty frequently in some of our earlier games. We're seeing games that are going anywhere from a couple points difference to a 200 and some point blowout. So very good derby we're seeing today so far.
And yes, we do have a lot of referees, and we thank and appreciate all the referees and officials who make this game possible, watching things from every possible angle and keeping order at all times, order of points, order of penalties,
yes,
order of skaters. Everything is tracked. The skaters on the track, who was where and when. And yeah, we could not do it without a dedicated team of people who travel to do this and have their parts in what some of us believe is the greatest sport in the world. And yes, we're biased.
Slightly. So number 911 Wolfblade and number 2012 Salty Siggy will be jamming, and Canada picking up lead thanks to Wolfblade Jr. Salty Siggy is still stuck in the pack. Canada holding up a pretty strong defense there. Salty Siggy now out. Initial pass complete. Wolfblade fights through, puts 4 Canada points on the board, and calls it off. And if you're watching this and you happen to be pretty new to Derby, say you haven't seen too many games or haven't seen it in a while, you can find more information on how to play and the rules if you visit wftda.com/new-fans.
Very nice. Yeah. Women's Flat Track Derby Association,
Yes.
the rules being adopted by the Junior Roller Derby Association. Number 11, Nutter, in the penalty box due to creating an impenetrable link, which we call
a multiplayer block.
Right.
Number 815, Smacklemore. Number 31, Monowich, will be jamming for Europe. Right off the bat, number 42, Fabulous, is off on a penalty.
So in other words, you can't link hands and play Red Rover and clothesline
No
people.
clotheslining. This is not Whip It.
And bowling past a blocker who is slow to recover. So and for that matter, the jammer down. So we will take a moment.
I have a question about, has USA East won all their games so far? I believe they have by quite a bit of points. Our final game of the day, if you're just turning in, will be USA East versus USA West. And that's at 8 o'clock, am I correct? Right around there?
Yeah, East versus West tonight at 8:12
8:12.
Eastern, 12:12 GMT.
So be ready about 8 o'clock with some popcorn. We will be here bringing this to you live so that you can watch it, and it's our pleasure to do so. So thank you for tuning in with us. That's the game of all that I would not want to miss.
And the official timeout due to an injury. We take our time on the injury timeouts. Don't want to move anyone unnecessarily. It's all about safety, especially this being a youth sport. And we can report that the skater is up and headed back to the bench.
Not only up, but up under their own power, which is even better.
There are 2 Europe skaters in the penalty box. Nutter is standing, and it looks like number 42, Fabulous, is seated.
Well, that's an advantage for Canada because we've seen again some very, I don't want to say aggressive, but proactive blocking by Fabulous, just on top of the game, always stretching up to be that front line, and also going back to the back line.
And it is a full contact sport, and yes, proactive blocking indeed. I've never heard that term, but
I didn't want to say aggressive because it hasn't been aggressive, but we've seen Fabulous just kind of on top of very good pack awareness and just knows where that jammer is at all times.
And there are 2 levels or 3 levels of junior roller derby, and the beginning levels are positional blocking, where you cannot accelerate into someone. You just get in their way and let them push you.
Very passive.
That's how you learn.
We have a Canada lead right now with Mac Daddy taking the star. Well, the maple leaf, I should say. It's not an actual star. It's going to be technical.
I see what they did there.
Yes. We have a star pass or a star stash by number 72, Duracell.
And spins and through is Mac Daddy for a 5-point pass. 4 points.
4 points.
4 points, rather. That's 5 in the previous pass, so that is 9 points, and 4 for Duracell. So those get negated, but still net 5 for Team Canada with 16 minutes to go in the period. And Team USA East, thank you to the coach there for posting in the Twitch chat.
We're looking at number 911, Wolfblade Jr. jamming once again. Number 888, No Limit for Europe.
And no doubt coaches are scouting right now, saying, well, I'm going to remember this name next time they come around my neck of the woods.
Can we afford to fly somebody in from the Netherlands, from Denmark? Okay, there's a no pack. They have to let those blockers go. Lead jammer going to number 911, Wolfblade Jr.
Cannot stray away too far from the pack, otherwise it would look like open skate at your local rink.
And that's also a failure to reform penalty, which is even worse.
And the pivot headed to the box for direction of gameplay.
That's right, that's a clockwise block. Jam is over. I believe. Yes, it is. Okay. 2 Canada points, and I believe 0 for Europe at the end of that jam. A cutting is being assessed right now? Or, yes, okay. A cutting penalty has been assessed to 9/11 Wolfblade Jr., and Wolfblade is now seated in the box along with 2 Canada a pivot and a blocker. So pretty serious pack advantage going to Europe right now.
You said it. So an official timeout. First, I thought it was just to confirm. That's right. It was just to confirm that 4 points were scored by Canada. I saw the officials below and in front of us wanting to confirm that score before the next jam begins.
So I believe that's Duracell. Nope, 27:08. That's the Naki Boy has been lead for Europe and is lead. Only has 2 Canada blockers on the track right now. So what we expected to be a pretty easy scoring pass. He was Naki Boy was taken on a bounce by number 901 on Canada.
And again, been able to stay in bounds on that one.
And Naki Boy is lead with a grand slam, a 5-point scoring pass.
And the penalty box empties. Everyone rushes back into position.
It's charge the pack time.
That's that the charging is another penalty,
right.
and we'll get into that later.
Different. There was an ECDX here about 2 or 3 years ago where it was Sunday, maybe 5, 6 o'clock, and we had everybody in the track who was on skates charge the pack at once, probably 4 or 5 jammers, maybe 30 blockers. 4 points on the board there. Scored by Europe.
Big jam for Europe, 22.
Sorry, 9 points.
9 total.
9 total in that jam. So we're looking at 78-22 now, and we're past the halfway mark. 13 and a half minutes left. Penalty box finally empty, so we're a full 5-on-5 now. 8-1-5 Smackamore taking on number 72, Duracell.
Now, in roller derby scoring, this is not an insurmountable lead yet, and lead jam for
No, absolutely not. All it takes is we've seen some jammer penalties at the end of the game that really turn things around. So we were not going to obviously spectate or speculate just yet.
Apex attempt there has to go back and correct. Otherwise, if you stand up, you didn't clear everybody and stick that landing, it would be a cut track.
So Duracell still on the lead, coming up on another scoring pass. 3 Canada blockers up front between Duracell and some points on the board. Duracell.
Yeah, Duracell with a size D 5-point pass.
You got to the reference before I did.
Or 9-volt. 9-volt currently,
right.
and building on that score.
Currently.
Okay, well, I'm stealing everything.
Has no resistance on the pack right now.
Yep.
Duracell all charged up, takes a stumble right there at turn 2, calls that jam off. So nothing for Canada, 4 more on the board for Europe.
And thank you to the awesome viewer who posted that new fans link from WFTDA.com in the Twitch chat. 13 points for Europe, however, 8 for Canada, net 5 for Europe, 86-35, 11:50 to go.
Yes, 56, Mac Daddy, 806, 808. Asta La Vista, and I believe this is Asta's first time jamming? 888, no limit. Okay, too many 8s. Yes, thank you for posting that link for the new skaters. If you are interested in Derby and not part of it, you might be surprised to find out that there are more leagues near you than you might even know about. So definitely check that out. A Europe lead jam with 888 no limit taking the lead. No limit with an apex jump. A 5-point grand slammer. Now Europe impressively had lead the past 3 jams in a row. So it's not too late now. It's really not too late for a comeback for Europe.
And 808 standing in the penalty box.
1 Canada blocker down on a penalty.
5 points scored thus far. And you see that crushing just, it stays in bounds on that pass and calls it.
Okay, there are 5 points, 5 points there.
Yes, there are. 10 total, 86-45. 10 minutes and so to go.
41 points separate. That's still close in Derby. Our jammers shaking hands out there on the jam line right before this jam starts. You've got number 2705. Sorry, 2708. That's the Naki boy. We'll be taking on number 911, Wolfblade Jr. Canada down with 2 blockers in the box. Should be an easy lead pickup for Wolfblade. Well, and it goes to 2708, the Naki boy.
And big block and drawback there. Wolfblade Jr. resets and sent out again at the last possible moment, recycling up front once again.
5 more Europe points on the board. Canada's jammer now finally out of that initial pass.
Skaters dropping and a little slower to recover as both of these teams have played before today, but not against each other.
Naki boy calling that jam off.
That's right, 8 total, 53-86. Europe on a comeback and trending up as far as a number of points scored versus Canada points scored in the last few jams.
Just a 33-point difference. Nothing will surprise me at this point. We have a foul out, I believe.
Nutter will be leaving the track.
We are kind of running on an abbreviated derby playing here, so foul outs will be occurring after 4 penalties as opposed to 7, which is under your normal gameplay. And we are only running on a 30-minute, one single 30-minute period, not 2 30-minute periods if you're just tuning in.
So 4 penalties for a foul out, 1 timeout, and 1 official review per team.
Okay. Number 815 for Canada, it's Macklemore. Number 7, Killer Sushi.
Ooh.
Oh, Killer Sushi is leading. This might be Sushi's first time, yes. Sushi's first time jamming for Europe, so let's see how Sushi does.
I think generally a relief jammer, at least last time I was up here watching Europe.
I've seen Sushi be pivot a couple times, which is kind of a backup jammer.
We've seen a number of star passes too, which is much more common than it was probably about 5 years ago for those of you watching and haven't seen Modern Derby in a minute. 4-4, that jam is a wash, but that actually favors Team Canada as the clock continues to tick. 8 minutes to go.
Wolfblade Jr. taking the Maple Leaf as opposed up against number 39, Monowich from Europe.
And no syrup in the wheels for that Wolfblade Jr. lead jam.
Good job, Monovich. 9-11 Wolfblade. Not lead, but has put 4 Canada points up there on the board. Fabulous goes in for a hit, just a hair too late. Now, 2 scoring passes under the over and done with here. Let's see. I think I saw 4 up there by Europe.
We'll wait on the count, but currently 8-4, net 4 for Canada.
Okay. Canada 98 now, Europe 61.
Under 7 minutes to go, yes. As you see, 61-98.
Mac Daddy jamming for Canada, 27-08. The Naki boy jamming for Europe, and a multiplayer block on a jammer. We've seen that. Oh, okay. That must be on a blocker. So Canada does have lead. We heard the 2 whistles, and then we saw a multiplayer block in the direction of that jammer.
Apex and points on the board.
4-4 there by both of our teams. So again, a wash.
Yep. Canada 102, Europe 65. I did see a multiplayer block on a jammer once. The jammer reached and grabbed onto a blocker's uniform to get a little momentum, and at that time another skater was trying to come through between them, and that makes an impenetrable link.
Never seen it until this weekend. I probably saw it twice. 72, Duracell, 8-1-5, Macklemore jamming. Duracell picking up lead for Europe. There's Fabulous up there trying to work offense, breaking up Canada's defensive wall. Both of our jammers are now in the pack. Oh, a penalty being given to Europe's jammer. That is, oh no, is it a penalty? Yes, it is a penalty. Duracell is off on a cutting the track penalty, so Canada now with a power jam.
And a pivotal penalty, as it were, as time ticking away for Europe to make a comeback. 4 points already scored, plus 5 on that pass. As anyone in the penalty box is automatically scored upon, and that does include the jammer. And the drawback, a good work back there by the pivot.
Yep, that is Killer Sushi, who just jammed a couple jams ago. Canada still on a power jam. Don't quote me on that. Well, no, because Duracell is back on the track now.
And picking up exactly where Duracell left off. Nine points scored thus far. And Canada losing its pivot. Canada losing another blocker. 22 seconds in the jam. Oh, and a big hit.
Duracell finally coming out after completing the initial pass. So Duracell can put some points on the board right now. However, Canada's jammer can actually call this jam. Well, no. We're running for 1 full 2 minutes here, but we're down to 4 seconds left.
And the final scoring pass attempt right now. 2 and 3. The jam is not over until the 4th whistle blast of that tweet. So, in the midst of the whistles, that bit of scoring, 16-7 in favor of Canada. Thank you, Sonia, for watching on Twitch and for your comments. We're working to bring you the best roller derby here, which we already have, and working to give it justice. Oh, on
that's number
Twitch.
01 TNT. Picking up lead right away up against 8-1-5 Smacklemore. Smacklemore now out of the pack. Takes a tumble there on turn 2. Back up. Initial pass is not yet complete, but TNT is on a scoring pass. Canada throwing all 4 blockers at TNT. So scoring pass or initial pass now complete by Smacklemore. Effectively gets through that pack while Canada's blockers hold back TNT. So that's 4 on the board by Canada.
Canada not yet sealing it, but 4 points and 30 seconds. 4-4. Okay, that's a wash. But still, time taken to play that jam plus 30 seconds off the clock between each jam.
Mac Daddy once again. 2012 Salty Siggy jamming for Europe.
Crowd coming alive as we reach the closing moments of this game. There probably will not be the final jam, perhaps one more jam.
We've got 1 Canada blocker in the box right now. Packed advantage going to Europe. Salty Siggy taken out of bounds or on the apex by number 3 Goldie from Canada.
Lead jammer, but down, and a little bit of recycling by Europe. Could not stray too far out, otherwise would have recycled more and trapped that jammer again. And we know what that is called. Those of us in the sport of derby, I won't talk about it here. That's already been brought up on Twitter this weekend.
Oh boy. Sometimes you just get used to a certain thing and you don't think about it. And
we have our own terminology, right, which is not clear to anybody else but us.
No Limit has, I believe, received a star pass for Europe. Canada calling that jam off before No Limit can put any points up. So a 3-0 jam there in favor of Canada.
And we'll have under 1 minute to score, or 1 minute for anybody to score. 1 minute to play in the game here. The next jam can last up to a full 2 minutes, depending on what the lead jammer would like to do with this, as a 3-0 jam it was. Macklemore and Duracell to skate us out.
Okay, Canada lead, number 815's Macklemore. Canada also working a pretty strong defense with number 72 Duracell powering away through Canada's defensive wall. Duracell now on a scoring pass. Canada calls that jam off. Looks like we're going to have time for just one more jam. We'll see if somebody calls a timeout.
And, yeah, interesting strategy there, calling off the jam, either looking for one more jam to build up the points, or will let the clock expire. But it was quite an interesting time to call it off, because official time is kept in the infield.
You have it. There's this official review, most likely being used as a timeout. Just as a reminder, if you're turning in, you are watching the 2018 Junior Roller Derby World Cup. Now, I've been hearing from some coaches and parents that some of these skaters have been skating since 2007, 2008. That's longer than most people I know have been in Derby. So some very amazing skill on the track these past couple days.
Right, and we've brought it up before. What is happening and is happening right now is these junior skaters with up to 10 years of experience playing this sport, this same rule set as the adults. Then they go on to an adult league with adults who may not have been playing Derby that long, and they're starting to show up the adults. It is happening.
Yes, at this level, I'm not surprised. So Europe is using their official review as a team timeout, which you can do. And at this point, not much to lose with 4 seconds on our period clock. Coming up next, number 56, Mac Daddy, and number 31, Monowich, going at it as jammers. Our penalty box clear, 5-on-5 on the track.
1:29.76. This is it as the clock expires. This jam can last up to 2 minutes.
Very strong pack right there. Canada's jammer 56, Mac Daddy up front. Good blocking there by Europe.
Blocking as much as is possible with the positioning, and really stretching that.
Blockers did go out of play, so if those blockers go out of play, you are given lead immediately. And we have possibly a failure to return penalty there on the Naki boy.
And lead jam it is by Mac Daddy, plus points on the board.
A star pass, I believe, to number 01 TNT on behalf of Europe. Mac Daddy now in and out of the pack. Puts the hands on the hips. That's the call off. 4 points being signaled by our jammer referee. And we have a game.
138.76 unofficially, though that number will be reviewed as always, math checked, just to make it official. But as it stands right now with that 9-point jam, 138.76, the final score. Our next game, and a great game it was. Thank you for all of our fans worldwide for watching. The next game will be. Oh, and we're still there. Okay. Yes.
Speaking of our fans, we are keeping track of the live chat here. So we are reading it. We are trying to passively address some of the things that are being said. So thank you for tuning in with us, and make sure that you are here for the rest of today and tomorrow.
And the next game will be at 5 p.m. Eastern, 9 GMT. That will be Team USA West versus Australia, and boy,
that's going to be a game.
And I love these fans and really everybody who's come from Australia for this event. They're already lining up. I see them in the periphery. This is going to be fun. Now, after that, 5:48 p.m., 9:48 GMT will be Great Britain against USA East. So those of you in the U.S., you have a doubleheader coming up.
I had the pleasure of chatting with some of the Australian fans over there and sitting side by side with one of their skaters who's announcing here just a little bit. Very great people. A lot of great people here from everywhere. It's a big pleasure to be here right now.
And so glad to have, now I've announced two Europe games, but
Yes.
good showing by Europe. But this is Team Canada 138 to Europe's 76 this time. You are watching the Junior Roller Derby World Cup on Twitch.